Suella Braverman has ordered a review into politically correct presentation on gender-based language. So the seminar, which was held during work hours, told attendees to not call each other mate or use the words homosexual and transsexual. I mean, my homosexual mate would be absolutely livid about that. But the event also urged civil servants to wear rainbow-coloured lanyards and include personal pronouns in their email signatures. To discuss this, I am joined by political commentator, pronouns, I believe, she, her, Emma Webb. Emma, thank you very much. And is it nice to see someone in government finally rallying against this?
It is. I think many people will be very happy to see that she's talking tough on this. But again, as has been the case with things like migration, there are lots of politicians who are willing to talk tough, but not very many who are willing to actually take real steps to change these things. I think that Suella Braverman really does have the political will. I think she really does want to try and purge all of this nonsense from the Home Office. And part of the reason for that, of course, is because it's actually hampering their ability to do their job. They're wasting literally thousands of hours on these sorts of workshops talking about how to avoid things like micro incivilities and how to be a straight ally. Which, of course, is very ironic because, as you just said, they're talking about censoring the word homosexual, which, frankly, is, of all of the things, the most egregious aspect of this, because that is actually quite regressive, if anything.
Well, I would argue it absolutely is. And I would also be a little bit more tolerant of whatever you'd call it, woke language, if it didn't change every 2 seconds. So you're immediately out of date. And then before you know it, you've deeply offended someone using exactly what they said about themselves 2 minutes ago. And I can't keep up. I do fear, by the way, for elderly people in this country who tread a daily minefield of wokedom if they're in a workplace. And I think there's no mystery, is it, as to why a lot of them maybe don't want to go into the workforce. But Emma, I can't help but wonder whether or not the big losers in all of this are women. Yet again, I mean, I am pleased to be talking to a real-life woman about this. I made a bit of a mistake before my break where I was debating what was going on at the Brit Awards with 2 men, which probably wasn't a great look, so I'll hold my hands up to that again now on national television, so the Twitter hate can stop. But on this, talking about gendered language, etc., are we just pandering to a percentage of the English and Wales population, the non-binary brigade, who are about 0.06% of our population? Is this what's happening?
Of course we are, but I think it's also pandering to a lot of people who like to think of themselves as representing other people and sometimes representing people that they might not even know, people who are offended on behalf of others for exactly the same reason as Catherine Birbalsingh was saying there, that, they like to feel that, or they sincerely do feel that they are good people because they're doing this, because they think that they're representing people who are victimized. But actually, you can see how this is backfiring because going back to the word homosexual, that also ties in with what you were saying about the way that women are getting the short end of the stick here, because what they're doing is they're actually erasing sex. They're erasing sexuality here. And as I said, that is regressive. That has an impact on women's rights. There's been a whole debate this week about the Gender Recognition Act in Scotland. And again, very correct for the government to take a stand against this. So I think things are actually moving in the right direction within government on this. But they said in this training course, apparently, that homosexuality was a medical term. I mean, that really is taking us back to the 1950s. And so you can see how many people who are homosexual or women would feel that this is a real threat to their rights. But of course, there are some people who think that they're doing it in the name of kindness.